Messi's new youth tournament is actually pretty smart. Now, club football is officially back, which we'll look ahead to later in the show. But first, while we know Messi has various businesses and investments from Mas Plus to Inter Miami, I think this is one of the most exciting ones. You might have forgotten, but back in 2017, Nike terminated a very cool concept they had been operating since 2010. It was called The Chance, and it was a global scouting program that Nike filmed and produced into a show for social media, with the winners getting a spot on their academy team. Messi's new tournament is not the same at all, but it does have similar elements, which I think are pretty smart. There will be 8 U16 teams: River Plate, Newell's Old Boys, Inter Miami, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Manchester City, and Inter Milan. Now, 525 Rosario, Lionel Messi's media company, they're the ones organizing it, and they said it's more than just matches. It's a series of live events in a digitally driven platform that fuses sport, culture, and innovation. See, what Nike did back in the day was actually genius. It was just ahead of their time, with social media not being in the place where it is today. This launch, however, comes at the perfect time. Although it's not as exciting as a global scouting competition playing for a spot in an academy, it is a youth tournament backed by Lionel Messi, which is pretty lit. If the content is done correctly, it could blow up in the youth football scene. It's something to keep an eye on, just like this weekend. Yesterday, 6 more countries qualified for the 2026 World Cup, with Mikel Merino and Cristiano Ronaldo both getting braces, but this weekend is what you should have your eye on. In Ligue, PSG are top of the table. However, they're only 1 point clear of Marseille after losing and drawing matches this season, and they play 3rd place Strasbourg this Friday, so that is not going to be a straightforward match. In the Bundesliga, Bayern are leading, but it's the Der Klassiker this weekend. They take on Borussia Dortmund, who hopefully will win and make the title race more exciting. The most beautiful football this weekend, though, will come in this match: Real Madrid versus Harambal Elite FC. Obviously, I'm joking, but it will be a pretty difficult match, which could give Barcelona, who play Girona this weekend, an opportunity to regain top spot. As for the Serie A, it might be the most juiciest league at the moment. Napoli and Roma are tied on points at the top of the table, and then it's Milan followed by Inter and Juve. Napoli go away to Torino this weekend, while Roma take on Inter. The last time Roma won the Serie A was in 2001. Bro, that would be so lit if they could keep going. We also have Como versus Juve, Atalanta versus Lazio, and then Milan take on Fiorentina. In the Premier League, which will predict all the results as always, the table is looking pretty tight. Only 3 points separate 5th place Manchester City from 1st place Arsenal. These are the matchups this weekend, though. Nottingham Forest play Chelsea, who I think will win. If that does happen, it'll be interesting to see if Ainge gets sacked. Brighton take on Newcastle, and at first I was thinking a draw, but I don't know. This game could really go either way. I'm going to say Newcastle win, Voltamata scores. Burnley versus Leeds, the 2 newcomers. I'm going to say Leeds win here. Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. I'm going to say Bournemouth actually beat Crystal Palace away from home. Manchester City versus Everton. I guess Jack Grealish can't play. I was going to say they draw, but if he's not playing, I'm taking City. Sunderland versus Wolves. I'm going to say Sunderland. Fulham versus Arsenal. I'm taking Arsenal. Tottenham versus Aston Villa. I will take Tottenham. Liverpool versus Manchester United. I feel like this will actually be a good game. I'm going to say Liverpool, but for some reason, I think United could do some work. Lastly, it's West Ham versus Brentford, and even though West Ham are in the relegation zone currently, I'm going to take them. Anyways, guys, the next week is about to be busy. I'm moving out. I have to go all the way back to California, take the plane, pack everything up. So I think we'll take a little break and then come back on Tuesday next week. But yeah, sorry for being so inconsistent recently. See y'all next week.